Hey guys, it's Jenny here. Welcome back to part 6 of my Making a Webtoon series. Can't believe that I am recording the voiceover for part 6. I feel like I just recorded the first episode and I was a little reluctant just because I didn't feel like I had too much to show for, but obviously there's still a lot of ground that I have yet to cover with my Webtoon series AMP, and I'm excited to take you guys on a little journey with me to kind of wrap up some things and start some new sketches from my last episode. As you can see, I am finishing up the little chibi drawing I started of one of my side characters named Nero. I am now officially starting the body sketch on his character design sheet. I put in a lot of work with Celine and Akira. So I'm using Akira's body as a base for Nero's sketch. This process isn't taking me too long as I already have something to sketch over, and I'm also using a pencil brush, which gives me a lot of freedom and flexibility to work quickly without worrying about making sure I have a steady hand when I am lining this.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, March 27th, and just like that, the nice 3-day Memorial Day weekend is finally done. It went by so quick. I think I got a lot done this weekend, and now it's back to the corporate grind while working on art in my free time, as well as juggling my other adult responsibilities. So for this morning, I want to work a little more on Nero's character design. I want to work on his outfit. I think I will brainstorm his tattoos later because that's going to take some time. Then I'm going to switch gears and I will tell you guys what I will do once I make some progress with Nero this morning. So let me get into it.
It's hard for me to work unless I have my hair out of my face, so it's usually tied or clipped up. I try to take them down for videos. I'm going in, working on some of the creases for Nero's jogger. I'm also drawing his shoes right now. I wanted to redraw them just because Akira's... It kind of looks like Akira is a tad bit bow-legged on his design sheet, which is totally fine, you know, we like that representation, but I wanted to tweak the perspective of the shoes for Nero, which is why I drew them from scratch using my previous sheets as reference. I'm working on some of the side pockets now. I'm moving over to the side profile sketches. Something I didn't do in any of the other design sheets. I am mapping out where certain facial features are, just to keep things as consistent and proportionate as I can with the character. So you can see I have the brow bone, the nose, the lips, the chin, everything is lined out. So I'm just following those guidelines that I've established for myself as I am drawing Nero's side profile.
It is 6:45 a.m. I spent about 45-ish minutes working on Nero's character design. I think I've completed basically his outfit. Like I said, I do want to brainstorm some ideas for his black work tattoo and also have to draw some really rough sketches of his weapons. And I also just want to be able to fill the character design sheet with other information that gives me a better idea on who the character is and just little tidbits about them. Okay, so now that I have made some progress with Nero, I am switching gears. Like I said earlier, I'm going to start working on a character profile for my girl Ikes because I do want to post her design sheet today, and I did mention in captions a while back on my Instagram, which you should follow me on there if you'd like to see more of the artsy, straightforward stuff and reels versus the longer form content here on my channel. Anyway, I want to start including blurbs of my characters when I post their sheets just to give a little bit more background info on who they are. I need to articulate a little bit more on who Ikes is. I have an idea, there's concepts floating around in my head, I already have certain headcanons for her. Let me try to get started on this profile and walk you guys through what I am doing.
It's funny because I wasn't trying to shoot that last segment out of focus like that. I was going to have it focus on my keyboard and everything else is a little blurry, but it works out because that screen does have some spoilers on it. The audio wasn't that great during this segment of recording, but basically I'm talking about how I'm pulling prompts and questions from my main character profile sheets, and I'll be reusing that for my side characters. I won't go as in depth for them as compared to Celine and Akira, but it does give me a good place to start as I work on their characterizations. I also take personality tests such as the Myers-Briggs and the Enneagrams. That just helps me out during this process.
So the way that I like to do this is it's pretty much like LARPing. I like to try my best to get into the personality of the character that I'm fleshing out more and really take some time to think about these questions. Again, removing myself from the equation as much as I possibly can, which is hard as an author or creator because there is a little bit of you. There is an essence of you in all your characters, I would imagine, including the bad ones. Okay, so again, Ikes, if I had to quickly describe her, I would say that she is definitely not as friendly. I would say that she's very closed off, reluctant, not very trusting of people, and she definitely is a little cold. She's got a tough exterior and she's pretty cutthroat and a little too honest at times. Question 1, you regularly make new friends. I would say it's more of the disagree. Really worry about whether, yeah, she doesn't care. She does not give a shit about if you found her likable or not. Okay, I'm sorry if the mic quality has been changing. I kind of forget sometimes to use my mic. Disagreements, you prioritize proving your point over preserving. Yeah. Oh man, I don't want to make her so bitchy, but she's definitely like, if I know I'm right, I'm going to let you know that I'm right, and I'm not going to placate your feelings just so that you don't get hurt.
Ooh, she's an executive. Interesting.
So according to the Myers-Briggs test, it says that her personality type is an executive, which is the ESTJA. Seems like she is the epitome of practical leadership, organizational prowess, no-nonsense approach to problem solving. Yeah, I would agree with that. A force to be reckoned with. Your journey of personal growth often revolves around softening the edges of your strong personality. Well, that was a fun little test to take. That's kind of all I can do for right now. I need to quickly get ready for my shift and begin my day. The corporate grind is real, you know? So I'll see you guys later. I tend to think the best of everyone. Nope. I like doing things with the traditional method. Yeah. Oh, God. Paywall.
Let's try this website, anagramtest.site. It says free_tests, so it must be free, right? Please don't ask me for it. Oh my god! Bro, what is with this shit? My dog decided to come up here and join me, and I don't think he realizes how much heavier he actually is. He's not a small lap dog like Bonsai is. You want a safe and stable life and thus may avoid risks. I disagree, because if she did, she wouldn't be in the line of work she's in. Oh my god, this guy is killing me right now. Was I just singing the Muffin Man song? Alright, ladies and gents, this is the third time that I'm doing this. Let's hope I actually can get a result that is not going to be blocked by a paywall. Okay, you are most likely a type 8. Taking wings into account, you seem to be a 8W7. Interesting. People of this personality type are essentially unwilling to be controlled, either by others or by their circumstances. 8s are strong-willed, decisive, practical, tough-minded, and energetic. They also tend to be domineering. Their unwillingness to be controlled by others frequently manifests in the need to control others instead. That's funny. And with that, I should be able to write up a little blurb. Nothing crazy, just something that generalizes her personality. Well guys, it is almost 8:30. I also wanted to work a little bit on Nero's character design sheet. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch gears for a little bit, try to be as productive as I can before I get really tired and go to bed. After my patience was tested taking those enneagrams, I'm jumping back over to work on Nero's weapons, which are chakrams. I'm coming up with a couple different versions of them, just to give myself some creative liberty to play around with some possibilities, maybe combine elements from one version with another. AMP is definitely going to be a very challenging art project for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest ones is the amount of action scenes I'm going to be drawing, so that'll be fun. But at least during them, I get to really exaggerate some of the movements and just kind of lean into that like cartoony feeling. So I came up with a couple different designs based on Axel's chakrams from Kingdom Hearts and kind of just tried to play off of the base of it. So his original chakrams actually have like a cross handle here, and then there's a lot of circles in his designs, but I also think Nero would be the kind of guy to play around with throwing knives, which is why I included that on the chakram itself. So I have two different versions of it where parts of the throwing knives and this handle that goes across the entire body of the chakram is something that Nero can materialize using his essence, and he's able to bind them together with a combination of magnets and essence. So in both versions of Nero's chakrams, he has essence crystals embedded in them, much like Celine has hers in the staff, Eli has his in his nunchucks, Ike's has hers in the meteor hammer where the handle is. So in version 1, the crystals are going to be in the actual body of the chakram. In version 2, the crystals are in the major throwing knives themselves. And then I think I wanted to have it where these smaller knives were going to be made of his essence. So he can basically like materialize that too. I like both ideas for separate reasons. I think both have really cool designs and aspects about it that I like. I guess I just have to think about the practicality, and there's a part of me that thinks that realistically this would be easier to use because Nero doesn't have to use his energy to create like the bulk of the weapon. I'll probably have to put the weapon on the back burner for right now. In terms of what I have left on the sheet to work on, I still need to pull together a color palette, of course. I already have some of the tattoo callouts here, which is pretty cool. Probably pop an action pose down here. We do have, of course, him with his hair down. Might I say he's looking
really handsome, so I like that. It's kind of hard for me to create men because I typically default on women since they're just so pretty and feminine, but it's actually been a lot of fun pushing myself to create male characters, and I think I've been kind of killing it with the design, so that's cool.
Like I mentioned in episode 5, I always imagined Nero having a man bun. So for the action pose that I have of him, I figured what would be more appropriate than him tying his hair. I was showing my husband this sheet throughout the week just to give him an idea of what I was working on. And one of the first things he said was, "Ooh, seductive pose," which I thought was so funny because he's just tying his hair. He's got the little scrunchie in his mouth, but yeah, I see it with his hands swung back like that and that facial expression. It's hard not to think he's trying to lay the charm on thick, you know? Now that I think about it, I feel like Nero is very confident in pretty much everything except for flirting. I feel like he'd be very self-conscious, even though he is a very attractive, talented, intellectual kind of a man, but it's hard sometimes to see your worth when you're living it. Other people can see things a lot more clear and they don't fixate on your flaws and insecurities. But hey, I guess it just goes to show that if a guy like Nero can feel a little self-conscious from time to time, then it's only natural to feel like that too. That was a little headcanon moment right there. Right now I am lining one of the two side profiles. I'm also lining his helix piercings. I'm glad I was able to take some time to really sit and think about what kind of hairstyle best fits him. I try my best to give my characters a unique feel to them because they are people. They might not be real, but they're people, and people are very nuanced and are very unique. Despite similarities, we all have something that is special about us, so my goal when creating characters is to capture that essence. I try my best to make my characters feel as fleshed out and as realistic as they possibly can in a world where magic exists. I just want to say thanks so much to everyone who's been following me on my Webtoon journey. Thank you for sharing your excitement, inquiring about AMP. I hope you guys will continue to accompany me on this very, very long journey. Like always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, episode 6. Wow, can't believe we're here. And I hope to catch y'all in my next one. Please take care, take breaks, stretch, pet your dogs, take a walk outside, take care of yourself, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all!